Hello, we're back with some more sound business. Not really business, I guess, but just like the sound design. Because, like, I don't want to be like, oh, sound business. We're talking about your hourly wage and per asset price. Because I would be extremely underqualified to tell you that information. Um, I don't know if extremely. Anyways, uh, we're working on the League of Legends redesign. That's more important to talk about. Look at it. Look at We have it. It's right here. Look at all these glorious groups that are absolutely all over the place. Looking at the amount of tracks that we have in this thing still boggles my mind because I remember when I was like, oh, this will be a one episode, like one stream kind of thing. And now it's been months and I've lost and gained interest at the same time in this thing. So I'm very excited to get this done, which it should almost be. Last stream, we spent some time working on finding some source for the crowd vocals, mainly the crowd vocals, and also planning out on this poster right here what else we need to do to sort of fill in the rest of the gaps. So we've gone ahead and pretty much done that. By we, I mean me. I found all those clips from last time, and then over the last week, I spent like a day or so, not the whole day, but like a couple of days out of the week, I worked on this. Also, I have to blow my nose really quick. I'll explain why my allergies, but like 1 second. I was outside recently within like the last 20 minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry about that. Yeah, I was just outside, which is why I'm late as well to streaming. I'm like almost 20 minutes late here. I was outside recording some source for what we're gonna try and work on today, which is gonna be a lot of footsteps and body falls. Because we're still working on like the ambient sounds, background sounds, stuff like that. Things to sort of set everything in the space and make it feel a bit more real. So I'll work. Well, first I guess I'll just play what I have right now. Make sure that it's going into the. It's not. It's coming out of my speakers. So let me change that to. Hello, check. Awesome. I think messing with the input settings in Ableton just mess with my mic a little bit, but that's also not going into the OBS here. 1 second. Let me just reset that. All right, let me make sure. No, it's not still. Then let me try something again. Oop. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, first thing you'll notice is the crowd back here kind of yelling and whatnot. I'm not super happy with it, but it's sort of the best that we can get right now. But I'll play this whole thing for you. Look, I figured out how to full screen it too. You just double click on the video window. It's so nice. But here's the full version of it. I guess I could undo my webcam too for full effect. Oop. There you go. There you go. That's the whole thing. Um, I think it is, after hearing it just now, actually, I think it's kind of shaping up pretty all right. Um, the ending, I'm a little not sold on yet. It feels a bit cheesy with the slowdown on the vocals, like this stuff. Like, there's one voice in there that sounds like Shrek, and it always just sticks out to me, and I think it's a really funny, so I might leave it in there, but I might want to replace him with someone else, because it's a bit ogre-ish. Like, it is like, I think it's gotta be one of these guys, right? No. Yes, one of these. I think it's this guy. Oh yeah, this is the slowdown stuff. I think I could fade that out a little earlier. And honestly, like, crop that in a bit too. Be faded in a little sooner. But a little more natural with a little bit more space like that. But that it's so funny. I might re-record that, maybe, because it's just this but reversed. So I was lazy and I didn't want to like have reversed vocals and then pitch them. Yeah, so I just reversed this and it kind of works. But it does sound like Shrek. So I might redo that. But we'll leave it for the time being because it's not quite important. Um, yeah. So, what else did I add? Most of what I added were these sounds here. All of this stuff is pretty much the library stuff from last time. Most of the stuff actually is the oh, hello Cole. You typed out pretty much exactly what the slow-mo sounded like. Because yeah, what you typed out there, that like letter garbage, pretty much sounds like this. So very appropriate. Um, but yeah, so actually I can still explain what's going on in here. So there's this sort of bed of swords, you know. There's different clangs and swishes and whatnot. I kind of want to add some wishes maybe, but I'm not quite sold on it yet. It doesn't feel like there's a need for it, so I don't think it'll go in there, but it's a thought. Um, and then there's vocals here, which is the crowd yelling, and then people like fighting. And those, and then the other guys, the bad guys, which I think is this. Which I think I would rather have this pan center, maybe a little bit more left, because it's a little weighted on the right anyways. Let me just reduce the width of that actually with the utility. And then that way I can actually center this, start it a bit more right, and I might actually bring in some of the width again. Actually, I could automate the width to be a bit more centered, expand a bit. I don't think it quite matches though with the panning, because it centers about there. Yeah, and the width I'm gonna automate to be a little less, because it's just unbalanced feeling. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do anything for the big stompy guy. There's no real need. I'm gonna color this actually a little different. Let's do like this gross dark pink. This is just people fighting. And this is mostly me. So I'm gonna actually bring my own vocals down a bit. I'm really just trying to bring out the vocals in this. There's a lot of like woods and stuff. This needs to go in here. And on this one, I could probably cut out the swords. You can see how this sounds. This one's hard to work with. This was a free sound thing, I think. Or was it? Yeah, it was. This one. Yeah. So there wasn't anything really in the library that I spent money on that was more than just this. I mean, I'll use this one here. Which I guess could be a little louder, huh? But like this other one is just a horse. And everything is just people screaming. So, yeah, this is sort of as good as I can get the vocal ambience bed to feel. And then everything else is just like some one-shots in here. Which I could pan left and right, actually. I should pan left and right. I could pan these as well, like a little differently. So like, let me pan this one more center. This one like super far left. It could be a little bit more right. This one could be a little more centered. I'll bring this one like there is fine. Just so they're in different spots. This is just a little vocal of someone shouting as they, run. But most of the vocal in the beginning is that. And then at the end is another one. Which I think is just the same one but pitched down a little bit. That's most like the little one shots in there, and then there's the end hit in there. That's all the vocals, so together it's a little crowd fighting. I'm spending a lot of time explaining this, but this is mostly what I worked on for the past week, is sort of what I'm getting around to, is my point. So I worked on that. There's some little bits in here, like that are just little vocal bits that I'm using for our main character here. They don't really cut through the mix, not really supposed to, but they're not really audible at all in the whole thing. If you try and listen for it, it's just barely there. And that one you can't even hear it because of this knives here. That like kind of thing just completely masks it. We could try and fiddle with it, but that's a later thing. And then I added some sweetener stuff here, like that. I totally reduced the volume on that bass drop because I hated it once I heard it again. But yeah, so it's like with this whoosh. And then there's a little hit there at the end. Just to give some bass pretty much and a little bit of a transient. I wonder what that sounds like without this. Yeah, I like it with it actually. And then I added a little ambience here, which is bad. It's like, it's not great ambience, but there's so much going on. Most of the ambience is the crowd anyways. But I don't know, a field kind of, it just fills the space a bit. It's like a very dark feeling, kind of fighting army type battle area. Like at the end, it seems very grim to me. So that's sort of the setting that I wanted to have, something almost hollow, that these people are fighting in. So that's where everything's at the moment. I don't think I added much new Foley or anything. This is what we're gonna work on though, is this stuff at the end. There's a little hit there just to sort of sweeten it up. This should be in the sweeteners layer, but I put it in Foley because I was like, oh, it's a wood hit, and then I just never moved it. That stuff is from before. It's also from before. Oh, there's this stuff here that's new, which is the two little dudes while she's jumping, like this guy right here and this guy right here, just readying their shields. Just a little bit of some stuff in there to fill the space, because it felt really empty when she was in the air. Again, super low in the mix, but it's there. The dude on the right actually could use a bit of a boost, which is, I believe, this lad. This isn't panned to the right. And this stuff could go up. Yeah. So just super, 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 super subtle stuff in there. But what we're going to work on today is this little body fall part, which I started on, and I didn't like how it sounded, so that's why I wanted to go record stuff. This is mainly what I want to get done in the next like 30, 40 minutes. And then there's some footsteps I recorded as well that I want to see if I can't wrangle into sounding like the crowd footsteps and like people stepping around while she's in there fighting people. Because the people running at the beginning, they have a nice vocal to them with the yell and whatnot, but it doesn't feel like they're running yet. Even though I can visually see them running, I don't hear them like running and hitting the ground and stuff like that. It's not very aggressive. Just sort of like, yeah. And the footsteps that I want to cut through the mix would definitely be our main characters here. Yeah, let's freaking go. Like, that's what they're screaming. Could you imagine? Dude, that's gonna be like 2040 how combat goes now, like how war happens. Ideally there wouldn't be any, right? But just imagine you have like if you got the US and they're just running into battle, they're just going, let's freaking go. It'd be an awful sight to see and hear. Body falls, right? So this is what I've got so far, which sounds just like garbage to me. It's not a bad layer to have in there. I'm not gonna get rid of this stuff, but like it's just my backpack, and I thought this would carry most of the sound, and it doesn't quite. Like it just feels very weak. And there wasn't a lot in the realm of like rolling sounds that felt very real. This stuff again doesn't quite fit. I'm actually gonna mute these ones because I don't think we'll need them. So I'm actually going to make a new version of our project file just in case. It's a good practice to have. And then I'm going to name this track outdoor recording. Outdoor body fall and footstep source. Sure. I can't read all of that because it's just a small track, but I recorded this today, or about 30 minutes ago. Um, I'm gonna see how well it turned out. I don't think it turned out super well because there was a lot of birds outside. Um, but and also some ambulances. Uh, but I got a good chunk of stuff. Most of this here is like the body fall stuff that I tried to record, which was me taking some dumbbells, or what ended up being a dumbbell, and putting it in a canvas bag, and just throwing that onto the grass in my backyard. Over here is like footstep stuff. I think those are boots. Over here is like my tennis shoes. So we've got all of that to work with. That's the body fall stuff. That sounds a lot better to me. Um, so first things first, I'm going to get rid of all the colors on that because I don't know why there are. I should start organizing things by colors now that I have a lot of plugins laying around. Um, it's a problem for future me. Yeah. Where was I looking? Noise. Yeah, noise reduction. So I just want to denoise it as best I can.
All right. Footsteps in grass, slightly tall.
I think I have my. Did I have my low cut on? Sounded like I did. Let me check. I just used this H6 by the way with the stereo shotgun module. Um, pretty much what I use for anything that I record. Let's see. Low cut. Track L and R. Yeah, I had a low cut at 115 hertz. Ha, that's funny. I'll turn that off. Not like I really needed it, you know, because any bassy stuff we want to be either in the sweeteners or in stuff for the main character. So this background stuff does not need to be bassy at all. It just needs to poke out a little bit. So that's fine. If anything, it got rid of some wind, but it just felt a little thinner than usual. So let me like get that, and then we'll freeze that. This will take a minute to freeze. So I'm actually curious to see how hard it cuts at 115 or if it just rounds off a bit. I'm gonna put a EQ on this just to. I guess I'll do a spectrum analyzer and be a smart person. Um, yeah, I'm just curious to see how it rounds off that 115 and below with the low cut. The low cut on the recorder is actually really helpful. It's probably the setting that I change around the most. Um, there was I was recording Lake Michigan, funnily enough from Michigan, and I really wanted to get some cool like waves and very beach, oceany sounding sounds. Um, which thankfully Lake Michigan's big enough where I can get that there. Uh, but it was super windy out, so and I only had my XY module, and this thing does not cut it. In terms of wind reduction. So the low cut on it actually saved the day, and I put on the low cut at like 115 or like 130 hertz, and then just let it go, and it's like the best recording that I have. um, so super useful there. Pretty much anything outdoors, I like to put on like an 80. At least the lowest one is like 80, and there's like 95 hertz, I think, is the second one. I like to put on either of those just to negate any accidental wind noise or handling voice crack, any handling noise, stuff like that. Um, just as a safety, pretty much. I'll flatten that out. I forget actually. I'll check right now. There's also a limiter and a compressor, and those are also useful. I don't think I've compressed track L and R. Yeah, so I have a limiter on the left and right track just in case anything gets too loud while I'm recording. But you can do a compressor as well to like boost your loudness, which is kind of cool. Um, it's got phantom power, which is cool. This thing is like sick. I definitely don't use it for all that it has. Um, but it's very nice. If I ever start doing more and more stuff, this will just never really change from my loadout, quote unquote. It's got so many things in it. Got even a metronome in it and a tuner. It's got a tuner. Oh, weird. Yeah, it's just got like a chromatic tuner on it. Look at that. Huh. And it was tuned to 439. Let me just fix that really quick. All right. Enough of that. I don't need to fiddle with my Zoom recorder any more than I need to. So let's start off with the body falls. I also just want to cut this really quick.
I'll try and get some boot stuff.
Yeah, that's boot stuff. You can cut this. This stuff sounded good, so I'll keep it.
I'll try and get some boot stuff.
Cool. There's an ambulance in there. I might use this stuff, by the way, these boot footsteps for the Wise implementation streams, because these will be good to just have around for that. Because they're pretty nice. We have really tall grass at the moment. We never cut our grass in the backyard, so it sounds quite nice.
And then now our body falls.
Okay, thanks for marking that, me. So I tried with 2 dumbbells at first, and they kept clinking together. So ended up not doing that.
Start with 1.
It's still pretty thuddy. Oh yeah, I didn't check the spectrum here. So it does just kind of like round it off a bit. There's still some 20 hertz stuff. I guess this is also after I, what is it? I noise reduced it a bit. But you can see there's still a little bit of some content here at like, what, like 30 hertz. Yeah, there's a little bit in there, and then down lower. So I think it does just sort of smoothly round it off at like what was that, 115, which is all the way up here. You can see it's like about here-ish it starts rounding down. That's good to know. Goodbye, EQ. Thank you for your time. I'm just going to listen through and pick out a good, we'll say like 5, because there's only so many people going flying. There's a lot of people going flying, but we don't need that many to convey. We don't need one for every character, you know? That's not a bad one. Yeah, so I found a rock in the ground too, and I hit that, which is great. So then I had to move. Those kind of have me like throwing the dumbbell down, like the bag scraping against my hand, or I guess sliding against my hand and making a little like shh kind of noise. That one's not too bad. I do not want to become famous, Mr. Bot, but I appreciate your time and effort. Goodbye. Their life was lived shortly in my chat. I haven't had one of those in a while. A bot? Maybe that's a sign. Getting famous again. That wasn't a bad one. I could cut off that end little knock in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where I sort of started to fall into a little groove where I would like roll it towards me as I like wrapped up the dumbbell and the canvas. I'm like, that sounds really nice. You can maybe use that one for the guy that falls really like from really high up. The little space between the two bounces here really kind of conveys like a boom, like you're really smacking the ground. You have to rebound up. That's not too bad. We could also layer these with one of the harder hits at the beginning because these ones that roll don't really have as hefty of an impact to them. This one's not bad. I like that one too. Okay, so we've got a good handful of these. We just need to find a good way to drag them into. Oh, geez. I have so much just crud in this project file that it's just a little awkward to drag things into their respective tracks. I almost said perspective tracks. Okay, that works. Oh, I should get rid of that. There we go. Much nicer. And I'm just gonna scooch these together as I go. Just to make it a little easier on myself. I can scooch that over. That down. I think that was it. Yeah, everything else is footsteps. So we've got everything now. Let's move them over our little work area over here. Now I've got everything. Only took a little bit of setup, but we're fine. Spread these out a little bit so I can see the individual clips. And now we can get to work. So I am going to drag this track down just so that I can, I guess, feel better about where it is. And I should disable that track, minimize it, get that out of here. Okay, so this first one, I'm going to unwarp all of these. This one could fit for the dude on the left here that just sort of hits the ground there. This has been the trickiest part, is like lining up when people actually impact the ground. It's like about there. Yeah. So I'll bring that up in volume a bit. And I might actually end up compressing these just to really drag out or bring out the like rolling sound in them. But for now, I'm just gonna work one sound at a time. This could be the dude on the right here that lands about like here-ish off screen. They sort of hit at the same time, like that guy and then this guy. So like this could go a little further. Yeah, that feels actually really good. Let's boost that a bit. And cut out that little knock at the end. Fade it in. And that dude, well, us pan this to the right a lot. And then this one to the left, like 30, like 25-ish. This one, I'm going to bring up and then pitch it down like a little bit just to fit a little more with the other one. Yeah, that feels more cohesive to me. They just sound better together is sort of what I mean by that. I kind of want to use this one for the guy all the way in the back. Like yeah, this dude that's like rolling away. He hits hard. He's just rolling too. And I'm pretty sure I've looked at this quite a lot. I'm pretty sure that these two, let me make this big. This guy right here and this guy right here have the same rolling animation, but they're just offset a little bit. And I think it's really funny because I would have never noticed that. But like this guy is rolling, and so is the other guy. They might be rolling at different speeds. Like they just keep going. They never really slow down. That guy kind of slides a little on the ground. Like you would never really notice that sort of stuff without going through it frame by frame. I don't know. I like noticing little animation quirks like that because again, like if I'd watched this thing all the way through, I would never even notice. This guy does need a bit more rolly sound because he's rolling the most. So let's grab this one. I think this has a good roll sound in it. And we can layer that up and boost it. Maybe use a different one. Oh, it was this one, I think. Yeah, let's grab that. We'll scooch you over a bit. Drop that there. Bring that up. Yeah, that works. We just boost it all the way. Yeah. That works. Okay. And let's see. Okay, those are all fine to just sort of stay where they're at. This one I like. Maybe we can add this to that body fall there. I like the detail at the end of this one. We can make this 30 on the right. Because like with just one of them, it's a little dull. Then with this guy in there, it's a little brighter. I like the little crinkling of sticks and whatever underneath them. Which kind of makes me think we should layer one of those other ones up with this guy. I like this one the most. Because I'm more looking for that grassy detail than anything. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. And then first off, let's just color all of these now. And I kind of want, I'm not sure. Let's find out. Let's listen to everything and see if there's any other body folds we might be missing. It is a bit dull. I think we'll just compress these first. Like a long release, maybe 500 milliseconds. And then on the EQ, I want to just boost the highs, I think, and round out those lows. We can scoop out some of the mids as well. Maybe even more highs. That's a bit harsh. This needs to be 20 on the left as well. Oops, that was my bad. And these need to be on the left a little bit, just a tad. Oh, and we could actually automate this to go more centered as well. Because he does roll to the right a good bit. Not that much, though. Okay, that works. So yeah, that guy's a little farther away, so we can turn on his volume by like 3 dB, we'll start with. Not 30. -3, thank you very much. And then these other two are fairly close. This guy's a little farther away, so we can like bring him down by like 1 dB. Just for our own brain's sake. That feels a little nicer staggering these two. Because the guy in the back lands a little awkwardly. He kind of like doesn't really have a solid impact point that's seen, at least, because it's behind her hand. So we just sort of gotta, spitball it. And I think by just staggering these, we cover a lot more ground. Yeah, and it just feels a little bit more close together. Might actually even bring it in a bit more. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Let's see if we can stagger that more. Okay, I think that's okay. Do we want any other ones though? Because that already sounds like enough to me. Just those 3 in there, like those 3 kind of hits that we're choreographing. let's try adding in some more. We'll do like one like here. Let's just grab a couple of these. And why don't we grab like that one? Bring this up in volume. I don't really like how that sounds. It kind of has some mic noise in it. I kind of like the thud of this one. We can have that in there. And then I like the grassiness of that one. I'll pitch it down a little bit, just not be the same hit as up there. Yeah, that sounds all right. So where can we put this one? Like here-ish, maybe? Let's see how that sounds with everything. This could be like that dude that's really close. Like this guy right here, I think lands pretty close to us. Or no, there's even this guy in the bottom right there that lands like right at her feet, pretty close to the camera. So we could pan this to the left a bit. I think if we scooched it forward, I like that. So maybe one more. Like 5 would be a good number to have. It seems like a solid number. I'm not sure why it seems like a solid number, but usually I do things in like either 3 or 5 or 7. Just prime numbers, I guess, help. Like if I'm layering vocals in a music context, I guess. I'm layering someone's vocals, I'll usually have 3 takes that I'll put over top. And if I want it to feel a little bit grander, or if they're just like solid enough takes, I'll put together 5, 7 if I really wanted to go crazy and, you know, go insane. 9 maybe would be a good one as well. 8 or 9 would be fine too. Like if you really wanted to go nuts. I've seen people stack like 12, which is crazy. But usually like 3 is a good starting point. Like 3 dB is sort of like the lowest decibel point to where you can sort of notice an audible change. At least most people, I think, is like the average. It's like the average is it's 3 dB. So that's why I always increment things by 3. It's like 3, 6, 9. Rock it to him, suck him to him one more time, as they say. I'm trying to think what else I do in like 3s. I guess I usually like, you know, there's 3 frequency bands, right? Low, mids, and highs. You can break that up into 5, like lows, low mids, mids, high mids, or yeah, high mids and then highs. It just, I don't know, they're numbers that are very common within audio, maybe outside of audio as well. Let's add in another hit, maybe right after this one. So let's copy, or let's just use our last little lonely piece of source over here. See how this lad sounds. Thankfully, the background noise is not bad with these, so that's really useful. Drag that there maybe, and definitely bring that down a bit. We can just copy and see what other hits there are in the file. That works. Actually, I liked how that was staggered. It might just fade out that click kind of thing in there. It's a bit bothersome to me. Yeah, let's see how that sounds. You can pan this to the right, like a lot maybe. We pan this all the way to the left too. I kind of like that. Cause like having this close. What if we like even did something like this? No, I liked it better like this. Yeah, that's just sort of, it fills the, I bumped the mic pole there for a second, but it does fill the audio, the stereo spectrum a bit. I almost said the audio spectrum. The stereo spectrum a bit more nicely. All right, so as a group here, it feels a bit flat, dynamically, which isn't terrible, um, but I want to kind of make it a little punchier. Um, and I want to make them a bit more exciting. They feel very dull. And I think just boosting the highs is going to get them to be a bit harsh. So I'm thinking some saturation here with Decapitator could be good. And be brightening it up with the tone knob there. Maybe not that much. I do need to remember my headphones here are pretty dull in and of themselves. And by the way, I got a new pair of headphones. What are these? The Shure SRH 840s. I had a gift card, so I was like, yeah, why not get a new pair of headphones, right? I've been using these Marshall ones for however long. I've owned a pair of these Marshall ones since like high school, so I'm super used to the sound. Um, but I was like, I should try something that's like legitimate, monitoring headphones, something made for what I'm supposed to be using them for. Because these are definitely just like pleasure listening headphones, where it's like a little bit boosted in the bass and then a little bit rounded off in the highs. Maybe a slight bump in the mids. It's very tailored to like sounding good. Where these are a lot flat, a lot more flat, a lot flatter. Um, I quite like them. They're quite nice. Um, they slide down my head a bit forwards, but only if I'm like looking down, which doesn't happen too often while I'm working. I like the over ear stuff. Doesn't really push my glasses as much as these guys. Um, but I'm getting used to them. I'm still not used to the sound of them, so I don't like to use them that much right now for things like this, where I'm like super used to the sound of these, and I know what will sound good and what won't. On this, I'm not quite sure yet. Uh, but these are very clear. These, if there's any mistakes in my mix or anything like that, these will bring them out, which is quite nice. I would like to use these maybe next time when I'm doing a mixing session on these. I'll probably look a little funny because I've had to not modify this a bit. I guess it is technically a modification, but I have a Kleenex on the headband, or like two of them that I've folded up because it was pushing on my head too much. And then I had to get a new cable for it because the cable that came with it sucks. Not like quality wise, like audio quality wise, but just because this is the cable, right? It's this big coiled chunky bit, and this part goes in your computer. You just have like this, like rattling all over the place and like bumping into crap all over the place, and it's like so short. This is like 5 feet, maybe not even, maybe it's like 5-ish feet, which is just like no thanks. And also it plugs into the left, so I would have to go across my body, and it was just a nightmare. I think when I get more used to them, I'll use them. How am I going to get more used to them without using them? Great question. Problem for future me. I'll figure it out. Probably I'll start a new project and try and just use those headphones. Um, anyways, this decapitator is sounding quite nice. I'm a sucker for Devil Lock. It does add quite a bit of a piece of plastic. Um, it does sort of bring out those tails. I like that. It's subtle, but I like it. It makes them feel a little bit more excited. Not not excited to like fall into the ground, but like the sounds feel a bit more lively. They jump out at you. How else? Like I don't know how else to put it. Really, it's hard to explain, but it feels nicer, but just enough. Um, I'm gonna see how it sounds if I mute these backpack sounds. Okay, the backpack sounds are good. They stay because they add a good deal of like cloth and like armor-ish sounds, I think. Um, which I quite like. That layered in with this is quite nice. Yeah, this stuff can stay. Cool. I'm really happy with these body falls actually. Those came out a lot better than I thought they would. I'm gonna color them different just so that they stand out a bit. I'll bring down the volume of them just a tad, and then I want to EQ them again just to get rid of any lows that Decapitator might have added in like that. Because it does feel a bit bassy. And then maybe just round off those highs. Cool. So let's see how that sounds again in just context here really quick. Yeah, dude. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, nice. Sick. Oh, it's so good. It feels so good. Having it all come together like that. Oh, so nice. It's one of my favorite parts of this. It's just when you have a plan and it works. Like I just went outside for 15 minutes, came back in, took like 30 minutes to put all this together. Sounds like that, but then in context of everything else. So good. So nice. I might want to, while I have the thought, fade them out a bit. So only about like 60 dB. Just to make some space for the crowd, pretty much. And then I can definitely hear the swords being way too loud at the end here. Yeah, this stuff is way too loud. Actually, we can just get rid of that, I think, quite a bit. Because the focus has definitely shifted to the other crowd. This one can go down quite a bit. That's sort of like a dude nearby getting ready for the other crowd coming in. This stuff can go down. I wonder if I even just got rid of these. Sounds actually nice without them in there. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna disable them for now. Oops, no, I want this to be negative like 12, and then just gonna disable those for now because they feel just out of place. We could, if we really wanted to. I kind of want to. Um, let's add in. Let's go to the library here. Male voices. Yeah. Okay. This is good. I like this. It's so funny. And then when the guy in the back hits the ground, can we just like toss that in there a little to the left? Hold on. We can line this up. Don't worry. About here. Ah. Let's make that really quiet. Maybe a different guy would work better. How about this dude right there? It kind of fits. This will have to be farther left though. I think like 20-ish would be good. Kind of like that too. We can do this for the guy on the right. Yeah, I'll bring that down in volume. This has got to be a little quieter. Bring that down in pitch maybe. Yeah. These shouts are so funny too. Ah. They're really good though, some of them. The female ones are a little lackluster, unfortunately, but they're also pretty funny. That one, like, I don't know where I would use this one. Ah, but like that's a good one. There's good ones in there, and there's a lot of funny ones in there. All right, I think that is the end of my brain tangent. You need the Wilhelm scream. All right, uh, Wilhelm scream. All right, let me grab that. Uh, this will be good. This will be good to have in there. It's like a fun little challenge to try and make it work. I wonder. I'll check Discord on my phone because I don't know what monitor I had Discord on, and I don't want to pull it up on my main monitor here. Ha! Cole. I like that you actually did the sharing thing from Twitch where it like types it out too. That's not the Wilhelm one? Hold on. You're telling me that's not the that sounds like the Wilhelm scream. Hold on. This is a Wilhelm scream compilation.
Wilhelm! Yeah, I'll just fill my pipe.
That's the Wilhelm scream. What other scream are you talking about? Oh, it is? Oh, you son of a gun. You just don't want it. Why don't you want it? It could be funny. It could be like a little joke. A little haha moment. Just longer than my brain remembers. Ah. It is quite a lengthy scream. I want to meet the person who actually screamed like that. It's also taking like 6 ages to download. Let's try a different way of downloading this. All right, here we go. That worked. Get me off of this website. Hold on. How do I mute this? I guess I don't. I opened up another YouTube tab. I'll get back to it myself at some point. It's overused and abused. Poor Wilhelm. Oh. You don't think that he enjoys the fact that like he has a popular scream? There we go. All right, so we'll see if it fits. We'll see if we can make it work. Make it really quiet first. It's in there. Every time they use the scream, they have to punch him. That's so unfortunate. We can make it like really far in the left channel. Okay, it's pretty good. It's kind of like this dude. This dude in the back is just like flying away. It kind of like fits whoever that is. We'd have to make it a little sooner to mask it a bit more. Oh, I wonder if I could get away with this because I want to put this in my reel. This is a secret between us. Anyone in chat right now? Don't tell anyone in here. Any of my future employers. Do we think he's still alive? Like Wilhelm himself? Probably. There's got to be like, who did the Wilhelm scream? Oh. It's been used in a number of films beginning in 1951 with the film Distant Drums. The sound is named after Private Wilhelm, a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 Western in which the character gets shot in the thigh with an arrow. I saw that clip in the compilation. This was its first use following its inclusion in the Warner Brothers stock sound library, although The Charge at the Feather River is believed to have been the third film to use the effect. The scream is believed to be voiced by actor Sheb Woolley. Let's see. No, dude. Sheb Woolley died September 16th, 2013 at age 82. Unfortunate. True legend, though. He's probably super dead. I don't know if he's super dead. He has a bunch of music. He was a singer. Interesting. He had a co-starring role as Scout Pete Nolan in the television series Rawhide. Huh. Personal life. Ah, he died of leukemia. I still wouldn't say that's super dead though. Ah, but he was entombed though, so that's kind of sick. Getting put into a tomb is like kind of tight. If there was any way to be memorialized, getting put in a tomb is a pretty cool one. I think this is good. It's all the way over there. Like you can, if you really listen for it, you can hear it. It's like a little puzzle. Like if you listen to the whole thing, you can barely tell it's there, man. Let's bring that up like 0.5 dB. Yeah, okay. We'll do negative 16.3, and that'll be a good sweet spot, I think. And we'll color it dark red. Yeah, okay. Cool. I am totally okay with that for vocals there. What time is it? It's almost 1:30. Okay. I'll try one thing then for the... This will still be in crowd fighting, actually. But it won't go under vocals. We'll make a new group then. This will be footsteps. We'll color this like this kind of red. That works. And then I would like to make a granulator. We're gonna try something, and if it doesn't work, then that's fine. We'll end it there. But if it does work, then I'll try and get some stuff from it. Maybe later today, in my free time, I will fiddle with finishing this up. Because actually, one of the sound designers I asked for help from, Zvi, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Actually, I don't believe I'm pronouncing that right. But he actually was like, oh, if you want to send it over to me when you're finished with it, I'd love to hear it. So I'd like to finish this and send it over to him. I think I want to start with the boot steps first. Yeah, so let's do that. Quick, let's drag that into there. And then if I play this, up the grain size. Oh, this is the entire sound file, isn't it? Okay, so what I need to do, drop that in there, consolidate that. This is just how Granulator does it. It doesn't take whatever clip you selected. It's just the entire sound file, no matter how you cropped it. We'll drop that in there. Yeah, so that'll work a little nicer. We can just mute and minimize that. Okay. Increase the spray. And bring the file position back a bit. This sounds like a couple of people running, right? Bring up the volume. Then if I hit a couple of keys here, it sounds like a bunch of people running, right? Let's let's try that. I'm gonna only use like 3 notes though. Okay, I need to start at the beginning. That's a lot. Oops, let me just... Okay. And then I'm gonna see how this sounds if I pitch this down a little bit. Okay. I think that sounds okay. I am gonna stagger this a bit. And then I'm gonna render this out. Just a couple times, I think. Actually, I need to take in from 172. Because I think I have some reverb on here. Yeah, so I don't want to record that. And then I'll do one more. And we'll really only be using this for like the beginning and end. Because there's not a lot of footsteps happening, just a lot of like foot scuffs. Which are in the second end of this like file here. So let me see really quick if I can just move the file position over here. I might want to play that one a little differently then. It's quite nice. I can like perform these, which is fun. Oh, I need to increase the decay, or not the decay, the release. That's the FM envelope. Increase the release by like 3 seconds. And the attack can go up just a tad. Right. Okay, I don't need to perform it that quickly. Okay, that's actually really fun to do. I'm glad I figured out that works. I am gonna pitch this down just a smidge. Okay, and then I'll record that out, and I'll have this pretty low, but it'll just be like foot scuffing and whatnot on the dirt and the grass, for when everyone's fighting. And those filter sweeps and stuff are just from the group here. I have like a filter that opens and closes whenever she does like a slow-mo thing, just to accent pretty much the move. I think it closes a little too much. I might want to keep the filter a little more open. Just a smidge. Yeah, so you can just loosely toss these in there, and then I'll finish up. Let's grab this, and we can just toss that in and like fade it out, fade it in a bit. I might want to try out the tennis shoes as well, but I have to recrop the clip to the tennis shoes and all that stuff. The boots sound a bit hollow to me, but we'll see how they sound together, just layered a bit. I wanted to do 2 layers just to make it feel a bit fuller without having to worry about messing with the granulator and all that stuff and having weird performance things. So I think that just is easy to get that sounding more right than trying to figure out how to do it in the granulator. But these will all be on the left. And I might want to even pitch these down. And I might want to stagger this one a bit. I could bring these up in volume, and I'll do steps. And this will be scuffs. And on steps, I'm going to boost the highs a bit. I mainly want that grass kind of coming through. But not that much. Round it out a bit. Okay, so I do want to fade that out there. And probably don't even need to fade it in. I shouldn't delete that, but what I should do is move this over here, fade those in, crop them a bit, and this will be the other crowd of people running towards you, or towards the character. And we'll make 2 new tracks, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to automate the what's it called? With the panning. But I will automate them on this track actually. So let's do a little something like this. And these a bit more like that. And they kind of phase a bit in there. So I'm going to scooch this one to like this part of the clip. This part there. I'm going to bring those down because they're kind of far away. And I might actually just duplicate this and then add another layer because there's a lot of people in frame for that. Maybe even again. Oops. Cool. I think that works. These could fade out a lot sooner. Let's just drag that in there, crop it to the same length. I think this fits. I'll want to do some tweaking later, I think. I think I also want to pitch these down. Yeah, I don't even need to fiddle with that too much. I'm gonna make this like a gross red. And these are gonna be like this darker, or no, the Wilhelm scream is the dark red. These will be like this bright red then. Cool. I think that is sounding good. Let's listen to the whole thing again, and then we can call it there. So yeah, this is how it's turning out as a whole. I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's that bad at all. Yeah, so there you have it. I think all we really need to do now is give it another listen after like a little bit of a break. So I might give this another listen tonight or this afternoon, see how it's sounding. I'll give it a listen on the other headphones, my speakers, just to get an idea and an idea of how it's sounding on other spots, other listening devices, and just start doing like a small mixing pass pretty much. And once it's all mixed together, get feedback. So yeah, I'm just looking at our list here, and I think everything is taken care of. Cloth versus metal armor doesn't really quite matter. We'll see if it matters. People being hit and falling into the ground, taken care of. Simple whooshes, sword swings, and yells, taken care of. The guards readying for when he jumps in, taken care of. Footsteps, taken care of. I take this post-it down. Bada bing, bada boom. For free. Awesome. Cool. So I will be back next week for sure. Thursday we'll see. Because I have work off on Thursday, but I do like having the time. I have other stuff that I'm working on as well. I still have to finish up the Unreal project, so I'd rather get that done. And you don't want to see me floundering about in UE4. So there's another redesign I'm working on at the moment, another Genshin one, because they're just really stupid fun. So I'll finish up that one on stream on Thursday. We'll see. Don't expect one on Thursday. I'm kind of enjoying just doing one a week. But we'll see. Thursday's still a flex day, but Monday for sure. We'll either finish this up, do something else. We'll see. Because I might even finish this up like tomorrow on my own time, because I'm kind of ready to be done with this redesign as soon as possible. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks so much for coming out. I appreciate it. I'll be back next week, like I said. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye. Bye. And I'll click out of Ableton. And I'll click the stream over screen. And then I'll go bye.